I write a lot about indigenous resistance, and that's why it comes off so aggressive and so raw, and I talk a lot about historical things, reclaiming what's ours, what's always been ours. We haven't forgotten. We just have to remember. Those things aren't gone. We just have to remember that they were there. We have to remember those seeds to our existence that have always been there. My rap name is Giizhigookwe, and it means day maker. I was raised a lot by my grandmother, and I just kind of gravitated to her strength. And I remember when I was 6, and I stumbled across this picture, and it was like one of those old school pictures. It was like a tag board one. And I remember wondering, who's that little boy, And I was like, Grandma, who's this little boy? And she's like, that's me. And I said, how come your hair's short? And she's like, because I was in boarding schools. She told me about those things that happened to her, and I just looked at my grandma, and she was supposed to be my role model and my powerhouse, and I just couldn't imagine those types of things happening to her. And I was just like, damn, man, the indigenous situation is really real. This is who I am. This is who I come from. She told me that the day that she got there, that they cut her hair and they dumped her whole body in kerosene because they thought all the Indians had lice. So that happened 5-10 minutes prior to taking the photo. She was 5 and I was 6, and I was just like, that is some real stuff. Now looking back, I was fortunate enough to be educated at such a young age so that really formed my worldview. It had a lot to do with who I was, my culture, my language, and through hip hop. It took me a while to be able to harness that, and what kind of message was I gonna put out there? Being a busy mom, I have little time to devote to writing or just sitting there in the zone with speakers loud like I'd like to. I just do it when I'm running errands or picking kids up or dropping. That's what I do. I just run errands, and I'm in the vehicle a lot. And so if I'm not doing dishes or folding laundry or whatever it is, or running errands, that's just what I do. Make me pull out the salve like a rabbit out the hat. It's not by choice, it's bad habits and habitat. Cause if I get stuck going rat-a-tat-tat, I'm taking a white supremacist with me. Going in INDIGEFI, I'll be gone in a jiffy. Swiftly, quickly, you gon' see how thick these sticks be. Smart enough to take the ugly oppression gives me and give it right back. Cause decolonization is the best thing since cracking. We are the definition of resilience, and that's a known fact. The day that my grandmother told me about her boarding school experience, that changed my life forever. She told me that the best part of her life is being a grandmother. What's more honorable than being a community grandmother? It's the highest position in an indigenous community, and I want to be that one day. And so I think that my gift through language, and I've obviously been gifted the ability to raise kids because I'm raising 8 children right now. And I always take in extra kids almost nightly, and I feed them, I do whatever I can for them, and I think that might be my gift. A tattooed, sleeved, rapping granny. I can dig it, man. I'll get down on it. I'm still that same savage rapping about the facts from back then and how that ish is still happening in the schools within the rules till we refused all the abuse. And now we do it better than yous, and we better than Berettas, and we fed up with you fools. See, I got dudes who get rude, and you bet that they got goons that dare to get buffoon when they step inside the room, and they've been on standby since yesterday at noon. Your platoon act cartoon, I blow up, they get balloon.
Arrived. Welcome to the Red Lake Reservation, home of the Anishinaabe people, Ojibwe culture, 500 years of resistance, red ghettos, survivors of the American genocide, struggle, poverty, and yet still there is hope inside the young Niji named Thomas X.
As a teenager is when I started learning about Red Lake history. Watching the Red Power movement, I looked up to people like Russell Means, John Trudell, and they were from different tribes, they were different kind of indigenous. So it made me want to be proud of being Ojibwe. I didn't even know it, but I was connecting with who I was. So to get connected with my Red Lake and Ojibwe history and culture, it was empowering, and it means a lot to me, and that's probably why I talk about it a lot in my rap music.
Welcome to my reservation. I tell them. Welcome to my reservation.
I just really wanted to represent the reservation and the native people. I just felt like we're the product of 500 years of oppression right here. This is what over 500 years of inflicted oppression has led to. Here we are on these ghettos in the woods, these reservations, and I took it upon myself, being a native hip-hop artist, to just want to represent all the people on the reservation.
Back from the dead, I am the crow. Fly above the res, let my people know that I'm really putting on for the people in my tribe, that I'm really putting out good energy and vibes. Come on, give dabs and hugs. Came here to get rid of all the people dealing drugs. My people in the struggle, my people needing love. This is what we got.
The disconnection from who we are. That's the umbrella of all of our problems. The drug addictions, the suicide rates, domestic abuse, the poverty, the all-around struggles that go on the reservation. It's all due to our disconnection from who we truly are. There's a void inside of us, and it's our culture.
Go out and say a prayer in the sweat lodge, send your words way up there. As long as we alive, the culture can survive, the language can survive, it could all survive. Bucci go, Bimanaja among.
Our culture has been passed down orally. We didn't write it down on anything. Our teachings have survived for thousands of years, just passing it down through stories. So I look at rap music as, a way I could tell stories and leave some kind of culture and words for people. I want the younger generation to hear about the 7 teachings, to hear about our chiefs, to feel prideful about being Red Lake Ojibwe. That's why I always try to promote the culture in my music and just my everyday life to the kids, is tell them to put out your tobacco, doing the small things, that the baby steps to leading back to our culture. Beyond all the struggle Native American people go through, that we're very resilient people. We have the ability to rise up.
This one's for the 7th generation, every reservation, every elder, every youth. We are here, living proof. Hear the sounds of the drums for our daughters and our sons. Come together, we are one nation under Giizhigookwe. Do it's time to come together forever with eagle feathers. We'll never be able to not weather the storm, for better or more. I'm ready for war. I said we ready for war. We got the words up on our back with our chiefs and our soul. Tobacco in our hands, and my people gonna know this is the last stand. No more drugs, no more liquor, no more hate, no more losing. My reservation needs a revolution. My reservation needs a revolution. It's the resolution for the revelation. My reservation needs a revolution. It's the resolution for the revelation.
To any youth, any music that you choose, no matter what artist form you choose, it's gonna reach somebody. So you might as well make that message count. You can do a lot of things, but why wouldn't you rap to make an impact in your community? Something that has a message, something that's gonna empower somebody. And so you have to ask yourself as a youth, if you're gonna get yourself into hip hop, what kind of message are you going to put out there? Are you gonna talk about drugs, pimping your women, not raising your children, having kids and not taking care of them, selling drugs to your people? Or are you gonna talk about how we need to empower them through language and culture and being there? Rap about how powerful our women are, about how our women give life, about how they carry water, how they are the matriarchs of an Ojibwe community, about the power of an Ojibwe woman when she can carry herself when she feels like she cannot. Think about children before herself. We're not a drunken Indian. We are so much more.